Distributive property is something you guys generally come in knowing. So let's kind of review what that looks like with letters. So what you're doing is you're taking this value outside to both pieces inside. So if A goes to B, it's going to be A times B, and then we bring down our plus sign, and then A times C. So if it's subtraction, we're going to do the same thing. A times B minus A times C. So it's a little bit easier when we use numbers instead. So the 7 is going to go to both of them. You're going to multiply it in to both of those pieces. So the first one here, we have 7x, and then 7 times 4 is 28. Same thing here. This is going to distribute into both pieces. 2b and minus 6. Distributing in here, negative 4y minus 12. So make sure that that negative sign gets distributed into it also. So again, we're going to distribute the negative 5 to both of these pieces. So we have negative 5m, and here we have a negative times a negative, so we get a positive 10. This one, we are just multiplying in the negative sign. So negative y here, and then that's going to turn into a positive 9. Here into both of those, 12, not 12, just trying to add instead of multiplying. So I have 32 minus 8b. We could rearrange that and put the variable first, but we'll go ahead and just leave it like that. Now we're taking this negative 4 into both of those. A negative times a negative gives us positive 4w. A negative times a negative gives us positive 40. Distributing this guy in, 10m minus 15. This is going to give us negative 6x plus 12. Over here, 3m plus 3n. Now we're tossing in a variable with this. So when we put that in, we're going yx plus 4x. So see how that common x goes with both of them? We could undistribute and take it back out with all of these too. Like on number 10, we could take the 3 out of both of those. Okay, so on number 12, pushing this d, so we go d times c minus 4d. It doesn't matter what order the d goes in. If you want it to go c d minus 4d, that's fine too. Next, we have a 6 and an a, so we have to distribute in the 6 and the a. So 6a times b is 6ab, because there's no like terms to multiply in. Now, when we do this, we have 6 times 2, so we get 12. And then the a and the c aren't like terms, so they stay as they are. Distributing this one in, I have 2x minus 2y plus 16. So 2 times all of those things. Now we have just an x. So the 2y stays, we distribute in the x. The 5z stays, we distribute in the x. And the 1 stays, so we have 1x, but we just write 1x as x. So again, if we undistributed, which we're going to call factoring at some point, we can take that x out. All right, so now let's add in some fractions here because they're super fun. 1/4 of 8 is saying if you take 8 and put it in 4 pieces, what do you get? You get 2x. And then 1/4 of 4 is saying if you take 4 and divide it by 4, what do you get? You get 1. Okay, so now let's remember how to multiply fractions. We go straight across the top, so this is going to give us 3. We go straight across the bottom, so we get 30. 3 over 30, if you simplify that down, you're going to get 1 over 10, so 1/10 x. We're going to do the same thing over here, except now we're taking 1 times 18, which is 18, over 6, and 18 over 6 is 3, so that gives us a plus 3 right there. Same thing on the next one, straight across the top, we're going to get 4 over 40, and 4 over 40 is just 1/10. Thing we can't forget is that negative sign. So negative 1/10 x. And then over here, we're going to have 1 times 24, which is 24, over 8, which is 3. We have a negative sign and a negative sign, which is a positive sign, so plus 3. Okay, so now let's take last lesson and this lesson and put it together. We're going to distribute and combine like terms. So the distributing part comes first. We're going to get 16x minus 24. And then we're going to drop down the original negative 6x that doesn't need any distributing. Now we're going to put like terms together. So these guys are like terms. I'm subtracting, so I get 10x. and I bring this straight down to get negative 24. Now we have to distribute in two different places, so we're going here and here. You're taking the whole negative sign with it. So this is going to give me 18k minus 36 minus 14k plus 24. So then I'm going to put my like terms together. So I have 18k minus 14k, so that's 4k. And then I have negative 36 and a positive 26, which is a negative 12. And that's going to be your final answer. This one gets a little bit trickier because you wonder what you're distributing in, just the negative sign. So we're going to drop down the 10, we're going to drop down the y, and in the middle we're going to have a negative y and a positive 6. So with that, we're going to put our like terms together, and I have negative y and negative y, so there's two negative y's. Then we have 10 and 6, which gives us 16. Okay, over here we have to distribute twice also. We're going to take this one and distribute it in, and this one and distribute it in. So we're going to drop down the original 6 that was in the problem. Then we're going to replace this with 32w minus 56. Then we're taking the negative sign in, so minus 2w minus 1. So when I put these together, 32 minus 2 is 30w, and then 6 and negative 56 is negative 50, and then minus 1 more is negative 51. Okay, so the last ones are with some fractions, so we might need this little side area to do some work with that. So we're distributing the fraction in, meaning we're going straight across the top. So this is going to give us 90 over 12. And 90 over 12, we know that that's going to divide by at least 4. It's going to divide by 6. When we divide that by 6, we're going to get 15 over 2. So that's going to give us 15 over 2x. Then we're going to do the same thing. So let me erase here. Now we're taking 9 times 4, which is negative 36. Negative 36 over 4 is a negative 9. Okay, now we're going to distribute this one in. So we have to make sure that in the end we have that negative sign. So 1 times 2 gives me 2, and 2 over 4 reduces to 1/2, but it's a minus. And then erasing here so we can go back. We're doing 1 times 8, which is 8, and 8 over 4 gives us 2, so a minus 2. Okay, then putting our like terms together, 15 halves minus 1/2 is 14 halves. 14 halves is really going to be 7, so we get 7x minus 11 from that. Same sort of thing over here, where we're going to distribute those fractions in. Straight across the top, we're going to get 28 over 40, which is going to reduce to 7 over 10. Then when I distribute this in, I get 7 times 16 and divided by 8, which is really going to give us 14. Over here, we distribute this in. 3 over 10 is going to stay 3 over 10. And then 30 over 5 is going to give us a minus 6. Okay, so now we're going to put like terms together here and here. 7/10 and 3/10 is 10/10, which is just 1x. And then these are going to subtract to give us a positive 8. Okay, and that is distributing and combining like terms.